All right, let's talk just a quick minute about your conclusion paragraph. So on your conclusion paragraph, you will notice it is separate from your body paragraph, so they should all be separated. There are only two small parts to this. This one only has one sentence, and this one only has one sentence. So your paragraph, your conclusion can be very tiny. Two sentences, three sentences. That's not typical, but in this case, this is fine for our assignment. So the first part says you summarize the main idea. Here you shouldn't have questions or new ideas. You shouldn't be asking questions that are like lead statements. Here we are summarizing, and the idea says to use your own brain, that means come up in your own words, no quotes, no paraphrasing, to briefly state why the horrors of slavery outweigh the benefits. Basically what we're talking about is having two sides here. We know that there are benefits. There are some benefits. It helps the economy, people make money, new products can go back and forth, we can share raw materials and make new manufactured goods. We know those things. But that the other side, all of these bad things that you were writing about above in your main body paragraph, all of those outweigh. This is not worth all of this. So we're going to talk about this word outweigh. And for the people in the video here, that we did this in class and paused it differently. What we did was we looked up the word outweigh, and we had synonyms of outweigh. So we could find some new ways to say this word. This does not outweigh all of this, or that this outweighs these little benefits. And some of those synonyms that we came up with are, you could say blank is greater than blank. What we have with the idea of slavery and the horrible mistreatment and the lack of rights, all of that is greater than the money we make. Or we could say something is more important than blank. We could also say this thing exceeds this thing that happens. We could also say, exceeds. We could also say something is more significant than something else. The lives of people is more significant than what? Than the benefits that we make, such as blank. You could also say something must take priority over blank. Yes, there's two sides, but this side, these things, must take priority over these things. Another way is that blank surpasses the importance of blank. This idea surpasses the importance of this. Or the last one is not worth. This thing is not worth us doing these massive problems. So your job is to figure out a way to say that here, summarize these main ideas, and you're going to restate in a new way what you want Parliament to do. So this is green if you look on your outline. I know it looks different on my board. On your outline, this is green because it is a restatement of the thesis you wrote up in the introductory paragraph. And that thesis, you cannot just copy and paste and put in there. You have to put it in a new way. So you might think about, let's go back here. You might think about how you can say that same idea in new ways. For instance, we're not talking about chocolate, but if the idea was chocolate should be in every meal, what's another way to say that? You could reverse it and say, every meal should have chocolate. You could also change the words should have chocolate to must include. Chocolate must be included in every meal because it's so good. Or you could say, due to the fact that chocolate is so good, we should enjoy it, instead of have it, at every meal. Instead of saying at every meal, you could say throughout the day during main meal times. There's a variety of ways to say the same thing, but not repeat it exactly. So you're going to do that with this thesis statement. You're going to look at what you had above in your green, that's part of your introduction, and you're going to find a new way to say that using synonyms or reversing orders, or better, reversing orders with synonyms. So try to find a new way with that. The next piece that you need to do is look at this color coding example, which you downloaded, or you should have downloaded, and it looks like this. So this color coding example, I know you can't see very well. You can look at it better on your computer. There are different parts. So this is an example. It has an intro paragraph. These are all just blank words. Just doesn't make any sense. It's written in Latin. This down here is your body paragraph. What I want you to notice, and you can't see the conclusion right now, but that there is a space between your greeting, or it's called a salutation, and your introductory paragraph. Introductory paragraph is indented. I know that's hard to do on an iPad, but you can push the space bar. What's important to know is that there's also indentation here, and you can't see it, but down here for your conclusion. When you indent, you should be anywhere between 5 to 10 spaces. So you'll have to hit the space bars. The thing is you have to choose a number and repeat it every time. You can't have 5 spaces up here and 8 spaces here and 10 spaces here. It needs to be 10 or 8 every single time that you indent for each paragraph. So look at your color coding document. That's what you need to download. And then I've also given you this checklist about the things that you should be doing. So there's this checklist that says, checklist for final draft of letter to Parliament, and there are 8 things on it. Be sure that your sources are written just like the examples on the outline. If you don't have your sources in your final draft, problem. Put all of your sentences in essay format at the very top of your document. So I know right now it's in boxes that are part of an outline. You are going to go to the very top of that document we've been working on. Right now there's a score guide up there. You're going to go to the very top above the heading, hit enter a few times and get some blank space. That is where you're going to paste all of your pieces from your outline. Paste, paste, paste. I know that's kind of a pain. Once you've done that, you put them into essay format, meaning introduction paragraph, body paragraph, conclusion paragraph. You do your indentations. You do your color coding. It says make sure it has 3 paragraphs, intro, large body, and conclusion. Check Grammarly on everything. Put the color coding in. At this point, you can do the peer critique document. If you're at home, I recommend that you be doing this with a parent or a sibling or a friend, or you can try to call a friend or text a friend and see if they will do this for you. Check your font size, being size 11 or 12, Arial, Times New Roman, or Cambria. And then as the last piece, you should read your essay out loud. Correct any punctuation or awkward wording. That means take your document. Don't read it in your head. Don't go. Say it out loud. As you hear it, you will notice that you have mistakes. Something doesn't make sense. Something feels like a run-on. Something feels like a comma splice. Something feels like it sounds weird. So this is your last chance, because when you read it out loud, you'll hear it differently than you hear it in your head. This is the end of everything. Your final draft is due Monday at 8 a.m. in your shared folder.